The Incredible Dr. Pol was a very popular veterinary reality show that many viewers expected to last forever. However, it ended suddenly after 24 seasons, surprising fans all over the world and leaving them with many questions. Dr. Pol, the friendly and caring veterinarian who became well known, was just as surprised as his audience. The last episode marked the end of an era. Dr. Pol said an emotional goodbye that surprised many fans. People are wondering what caused this heart-wrenching moment. For over 10 years, Dr. John Pol has been more than just a vet. He has inspired hope and shown great dedication to his work. He grew up in the Netherlands and built his career in rural Michigan with his wife, Diane. Established Pol Veterinary Services started as a small clinic and has become the main focus of the show, The Incredible Dr. Pol, which has captivated viewers around the world since it began in 2011. The show offers a unique look at the challenging but fulfilling life of a rural veterinarian, Dr. Pol. With his charming personality and practical advice, he quickly became a fan favorite, addressing everything from urgent animal emergencies to regular farm visits. The series is not only entertaining, but also educates millions of people about animals. The series showed the real challenges of veterinary medicine, highlighting both the tough and emotional parts of the job. It captured everything from the hard work of farm visits to the joyful moments of saving animals. Dr. Pol was honest and dedicated, making him relatable to many, especially in rural areas. He wasn't shy about doing the hard work, which many fans appreciated. They viewed him as a symbol of hard work and care. Dr. Pol and his wife brought comfort to viewers. They've been together for over 50 years and built their lives together. Fans looked up to them, and each time the show got renewed, viewers were excited to see more of Dr. Pol and his team. The mix of warmth, humor, and hard work made the show feel timeless. Many viewers thought The Incredible Dr. Pol would go on forever, following Dr. Pol's lasting legacy. The show reached its 24th season, a milestone that some thought would signal the beginning of the end. Many believed it would be great to celebrate 25 seasons with something special. But that didn't happen. Behind the scenes, Nat Geo had different plans for The Incredible Dr. Pol that the fans and stars weren't aware of. While the public thought the show was untouchable, there were rumors of changes happening within National Geographic as they looked to update their lineup. You have information up to October 2023. When the final season schedule came out, it seemed like it would be the end for the aging vet and his practice. At first, the news of a final episode didn't worry people because these episodes are usually celebratory. But as the season went on, the lack of announcements about another season started to worry fans. They began to wonder if the show, which had become very popular, was really coming to an end. This led to fans sharing their concerns on social media. Dr. Pol was hopeful about the show's future, but it became clear that The Incredible Dr. Pol might be coming to an end. This feeling of finality was surprising, since fans and the cast were used to excited renewals in the past. The show had a long run and was very popular, and even the stars wanted it to keep going. So the sudden ending caught everyone off guard.
The cancellation surprised many fans who were getting ready to say goodbye to Dr. Pol. When National Geographic Wild decided to end The Incredible Dr. Pol, people were confused. The network said the reasons for canceling were fewer viewers, high production costs, and changes in programming focus. However, for a show with many loyal fans and global popularity, these reasons didn't seem enough. The vet has gained fans from around the world and has nearly 700,000 followers on Instagram. He also has his own line of pet products. Even without the show, Dr. Pol would have been a committed veterinarian, as he had been practicing long before the show started. However, The Incredible Dr. Pol greatly increased his popularity, helping him grow his social media presence and expand his business. Many people were shocked when the show was canceled, especially since he was so well. Explanation of declining viewership left fans perplexed. Ratings for long-running shows often taper off, but The Incredible Dr. Pol maintained a loyal following. Of course, it saw its ups and downs like any other show. but there was no significant dip to suggest an imminent cancellation. The unique nature of the series, showcasing real-life veterinary practices and fostering a connection between viewers and animals, seemed timeless and irreplaceable. Another factor that raised questions was the timing of the cancellation just months earlier. G.R. Paul, he expressed his excitement about continuing the series and his passion for teaching people about animal care. He really enjoyed filming the show. However, his positive feelings conflicted with the unexpected news that the series would end. This left many wondering if the decision was made suddenly due to changes within Nat Geo Wild. Financial issues might have also contributed, along with the difficulties of filming in rural Michigan and the high costs of production. Making an authentic and on-demand series could be tough for the network. But these challenges felt small compared to the benefits of keeping a beloved show. The show's educational value and active fan base often made it worth the costs, which is why its cancellation is so surprising. Nat Geo Wild's choice to mix up its programming added to the confusion, as networks are always seeking new content to draw in bigger audiences. But this can lead to getting rid of long-standing shows. This change might make sense for the network, but it didn't help fans who thought The Incredible Dr. Pol was unique. The decision seemed more like a risky choice rather than a smart one, especially so close to the show's cancellation. When Dr. Pol was asked about the new series, The Incredible Pol Farm, which was supposed to take the place of his original show, he firmly stated that it wouldn't happen. He loves doing the show because he receives feedback from people about how they learned from it. Taking care of animals is very important, and these comments made the cancellation surprising, suggesting there might be more to the story. This led to Dr. Pol saying emotional goodbyes. Over its 24 seasons, The Incredible Dr. Pol greatly impacted its viewers. The show was popular not only because of the interesting cases, but also its honesty. It celebrated hard work, resilience, and the connection between people and animals, showing the story of someone deeply committed to his work.
Dr. Poe dedicated his entire life to his veterinary practice. His straightforward way of providing care really connected with viewers, making him a role model for many. Millions watched as his team handled everything from emergencies to difficult surgeries. The show wasn't just entertaining, it also taught people about veterinary medicine and inspired many to consider it as a career. When the show was suddenly canceled, fans felt a deep sense of loss because of their strong connection to it. Many believed that the vet was the main reason the show kept getting renewed. Fans were used to seeing 2 or 3 new seasons each year, so canceling the show would leave a big gap. It affected the fans, but the show also changed the lives of the family involved. Charles Pol, Dr. Pol's son, not only appeared in the show with his parents, but was also one of its producers. This has made people wonder how much he knew about the cancellation as the Pol family prepared to share their emotions. Fans of the show were looking for answers about the surprising ending. The last episode of The Incredible Dr. Pol, called the Grand Finale, was an emotional time for many cast members as they remembered their bond formed over 24 seasons. As they came together to talk about the end of the show, feelings ran high, but everyone expressed them differently. Dr. Pol added his usual humor to the episode, greeting everyone cheerfully. With hugs and expressing how long I've been sitting in this chair, not nearly enough. His laughter lifted our spirits, trying to ease the sadness of the moment. This mix of humor and feelings shaped our farewell, combining thankfulness with the sadness of saying goodbye. Throughout the episode, Dr. Pol showed his emotions, especially when he talked about the show's journey. It was a great journey, he said, pausing before adding, "Right, Mike?" The camera then showed Mike, who looked teary-eyed and nodded in agreement. This pause was a rare moment for Dr. Pol, showing that he was looking for support from those around him. It showed how much the show and its legacy mattered to him. Although he tried to stay composed, this brief pause revealed his deep feelings. Many viewers recognized that, on camera, this was as emotional as Dr. Pol would get, as he usually seems tough and serious. But in this moment, his vulnerability really shone through. He needed support for his decisions. Brenda and Dr. Lisa shared their feelings about how the show changed their lives. Both women became emotional as they talked about the lasting friendships they made and the amazing people they met. Their tears showed how much the connections made on The Incredible Dr. Paul meant to them. The goodbye combined humor, reflection, and strong emotions. Dr. Paul managed to keep a light mood while still recognizing the seriousness of the moment. The moment made saying goodbye even more special. It wasn't just the end of a favorite show. It was a celebration of lasting friendships and memories. For Dr. Paul, it was the perfect farewell as he expressed his feelings. Many fans were surprised by the emotional goodbye. It felt unexpected and left them in shock. While many were touched by Dr. Paul's farewell, they also wondered if this was what he had planned. Dr. Paul's reaction to the show's cancellation was surprising. For months, he insisted that the show wouldn't end, and he seemed sincere. It looked like he really thought, like his fans did, that the show would go on. There were rumors that he told the bosses he was quitting just 2 minutes before they informed him about the cancellation. Paul felt that the show was coming to an end. He had been positive about its future, but now his attitude changed. Some thought he might quit instead of waiting for the show to be canceled. By quitting, he could control the story and create content about Dr. Paul his own way, without National Geographic being involved. When he said, "I'm quitting," it felt strong and defiant. Was this a planned choice to stay dignified, or did he really feel surprised by the network's decision? Either way, it happened suddenly. Fans were surprised to hear that Dr. Paul might have left to protect his reputation. His statement on Instagram suggested he wants to change things up. Although talks of canceling were shocking, he seemed ready to take control of his own path. Dr. Paul expressed his desire to keep sharing his journey and making content on his own terms without being limited by a network. This gives him the chance to try new ideas and connect with his audience in a more direct way. A statement about the ending of the show, Paul said, "Thank you for being a part of this amazing journey. Your enthusiasm has made every moment worthwhile. Stay tuned for more great content." This, teamed with his regular postings on Instagram and promotion of his YouTube channel, led many to believe that he wasn't ready to give up on sharing his veterinary practice with the world. He just had to find a new way of doing so. It was an emotional end to the incredible Dr. Paul, one that shocked millions, but the veterinarian could only. He hoped his plan would succeed and that his loyal fans would stay with him. The last few years had been tough for the vet, and saying goodbye was hard for him. Dr. Paul faced many challenges, including running his busy veterinary clinic, a demanding filming schedule, and personal struggles. These pressures would be enough to wear anyone down, but Dr. Paul kept going, motivated by his love for animals and his fans. It's clear that these challenges impacted him, especially with the legal issues that affected his career. This makes it easy to think that these problems might have contributed to the show's ending. Over the years, Dr. Paul dealt with several legal disputes and controversies. One major case involved claims of negligence in his. Although he was able to defend his methods and keep his license, these legal battles were stressful and had an effect on him. They were not only costly financially, but also stressful emotionally, as he faced doubts about his abilities despite years of hard work. These legal problems, along with some criticism, made it seem like he was fighting on many levels. For his fans, Dr. Paul's ability to keep going was especially commendable. However, some people were upset that the vet could handle such accusations and move on as if nothing had happened. The cancellation occurred when Dr. Paul might have. After spending over 50 years in veterinary medicine, Dr. Paul had hoped for a break. He ran his clinic and even created a global platform with the show The Incredible Dr. Paul. When the show suddenly ended, it felt like a big change and another challenge for Dr. Paul. This made it very emotional for fans to say goodbye. It wasn't just the end of a favorite show. It marked years of watching Dr. Paul face and overcome his personal and professional struggles. It was a surprising moment for the millions who found joy in Dr. Paul's show when he said goodbye. The end of the show was emotional, not only because it was canceled, but also because it closed an important chapter. Dr. Paul and his fans now need to think about the future and what new opportunities might come next, including any spin-offs. The story of the Pol family continues with a new series called Pol Farm. Dr. Paul is excited about this new chapter, showing that he is still going strong. The spin-off lets fans see more of the family's adventures and their dedication to taking care of animals. Dr. Paul and his team are also planning to create new content and products for fans to enjoy. These projects give fans a reason to stay connected with the inspiring journey of the Pol family. Dr. Paul now has the chance to share his passion and stories in new ways thanks to changes in broadcasting rules. His new show, The Incredible Pol Farm, follows Dr. Paul and his family as they work to turn 350 acres of undeveloped land into a farm. This spin-off lets fans connect with the family they love while giving Dr. Paul, who is 82, some relief from the pressure of his previous work. While many people at his age are retiring, Dr. Paul is still actively pursuing his interests. He turned a sad situation into a happy one by focusing on creating other content. He shares photos and videos on Instagram almost every day and is finding success on YouTube with different series, like Farm Footage and 20 Questions with Dr. Paul. His return to social media shows that he wants to move on from the cancellation of his show, whether he chose to leave or not, and just keep doing what he loves. Fans appreciate his efforts, even if his emotional goodbye was tough to watch. He is still happy to share his life, and many fans are wondering if the show they loved will come back. Whether the incredible Dr. Paul will return is uncertain since it recently ended. It might be too early to know if the show will come back. Streaming services like Disney Plus and Hulu, where the series finale aired, often help canceled shows with devoted fans. Petitions and fan campaigns might help bring the show back. Decision makers are considering the possibility of Dr. Paul's return. His leaving National Geographic brings up questions about what it means for the future. Dr. Paul remains dedicated to his work and audience. He is open to making his own content, which could help him start anew. It's important to note that Dr. Paul isn't going anywhere for now. By creating his own material, he can connect with his fans in new ways. With some limitations on networking, this freedom allows him to try new things, share untold stories, and pursue his love for veterinary medicine. The ongoing Pol Farm series offers a bit of hope. While it may not be as famous as the original show, it keeps Dr. Paul visible and connected to his fans. If this show does well, it could lead to more projects, showing that the Dr. Paul brand is still strong and important. There are currently no plans to take The Incredible Dr. Paul off streaming platforms, so fans continue watching reruns and new episodes of the spin-off. Dr. Paul is now focused on his own projects and appears to be happy. However, his ending relationship with Nat Geo might create issues later on. His emotional moment at the end of the show could have been a farewell to that part of his life. But who knows? That moment at the end of the show was surprising. An emotional moment for millions of fans who worried that it meant Dry Paul was saying farewell forever. The sudden cancellation, combined with Dry Paul's visible disappointment, made it a bittersweet farewell after 24 seasons of watching the compassionate veterinarian tackle extraordinary challenges. The news hit home for viewers who had grown to see him as part of their lives. Yet the finale also showcased Dry Paul's love for his job and his desire to continue his journey in a different form. His message. Fans on social media expressed their thanks for their constant support and mentioned upcoming projects. Although The Incredible Dr. Paul may have ended, Dr. Paul is not planning to disappear. This goodbye also marks a fresh start. By parting ways with Nat Geo, Dr. Paul now has the chance to try new things. He already has a loyal fan base from the show, and his social media presence could attract even more fans. Fans, it's impressive that he has decided to keep inspiring and educating others even after the surprise ending of the show. Not many 82-year-olds would be open to change like he is, but this will help his legacy continue to grow. As fans get used to the emotional farewell during the finale, they will see that they haven't lost the beloved veterinarian. Millions are still eager to follow Dr. Paul's journey wherever it takes him next. Dr. Paul has the opportunity to start fresh and connect with his loyal fans, instead of being tied to traditional broadcasting. Were you surprised by his goodbye, or did you feel his show was finished? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.